to Dana Day. Jack, left side,
got a
rolling
man.
out, has a man open. It's Stubbs at the 5. Stubbs, touchdown.
Come on.
Washington missed the tackle. Stubbs is gone. 40, 30, 20, and Stubbs gets in for the touchdown. Burke looking to throw, has a man open. Touchdown. Patrick Berry. Benson in motion. Jack going to keep the football at the 5, and he's in for the touchdown.
Here we go.
Yates at the 5. Dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Eds. Still on his feet. Jack gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Mustangs. Jack to the other side. Cuts back in. Falls in. And he's in for the touchdown. Touchdown. Bates makes a move at the 10. At the 5. Touchdown. Terrell Bates. Shaq at the 5, and he goes in for the 7th touchdown of the night for Shaq Washington. 35-28, a state championship for the football is on the map. Shaq Washington and the Mustangs of Maple Heights have picked up their first ever state championship.
Hello everyone and welcome to a special edition of the Cleveland Browns High School Game of the Week presented by Cleveland Clinic. I'm Matt Yunker and I'm joined by ClevelandBrowns.com staff writer Matt Forjancic. Matt, what a year of high school football. 2 state champions from Greater Cleveland. Couldn't have asked for a better season.
Well, it's always nice to see the Northeast Ohio teams do well in the postseason. 2 state championships, Lakewood St. Edward and Maple Heights, both deserving programs. Both teams run the table, go 15-0 en route to that state championship. Matt, you couldn't have asked for a better finish to the high school football season.
When you look at our Game of the Week program as a whole, there were some pretty impressive numbers from the 15 weeks that we had covered. Let's take a look at some of those now and see how it helped form this great program.
When you look at the numbers, Matt, 17 playoff wins among the teams that got in. We had 8 teams out of the 20 that we covered make it to the postseason. Outstanding numbers when you factor in all the things that can happen in playoff football. Then you look at the points scored and the differential. These teams combined for over 350 points in the regular season, over 600 total for the season, so they nearly doubled their output in the postseason as they did in 10 games in the regular season. Just an outstanding run by all teams that made the playoffs.
Talking about points, you look at the overall record of the teams that we covered, 94-28, including the playoffs. Unbelievable. I think it speaks volumes, not just to the level of football we have here in Northeast Ohio, but the level that some of these teams are playing at.
There is such a great level of high school football in Northeast Ohio. We've always known that. And to see these Northeast Ohio teams compete with the likes of the Cincinnati teams, the Toledo teams, and the Columbus teams is really quite a feat when you think about it. And 90-plus wins at any point is awesome. It was helped, too, by 2 teams running the table and going 15-0, but still, without question, a great run by these teams.
A few other good stats to look at. The Browns donated $12,000 to these high school football programs through their Coach of the Week program, which goes a long way. As you know, today's day and age, the way the schools are struggling, goes a long way towards this, helping that out.
Economic struggles have touched everybody in Northeast Ohio, especially schools. And when you look at the amount of levies that schools have gone through trying to get them passed and unfortunately having them fail, $1,000 can go a long way in helping a program get some much-needed equipment, some field upgrades, just anything and everything that goes into a high school program can benefit from that $1,000 that they will receive from the Browns.
I think perhaps the most telling stat of all this was from the fans. You know, this was an interactive voting program. Through this regular season into the playoffs, over 1 million votes were cast by the fans. It goes to show the support that these communities have behind these high schools.
It shows the support that the high schools have, but also shows the passion that the fans have. And being the fact that we know about passion at the Cleveland Browns level, it's not a surprise that it trickles down to that high school level as well. And it's always a good thing to see a packed stadium on a Friday night.
Well, the Game of the Week program was just one of many youth football initiatives that the Browns have going on throughout the year. Let's take a look at some of those other programs and how they benefit the kids in Northeast Ohio.
Starting in May, the Cleveland Browns kicked off the youth football season with the USA Football Coaching School, where nearly 200 youth football coaches visited the Cleveland Browns training facility for the one-day clinic. As summer kicked off, the Browns welcomed over 200 youth football players to the annual Cleveland Browns Youth Football Camp presented by Medical Mutual of Ohio. The Cleveland Browns High School Invitational provided 15 high school football teams the opportunity to participate in a 7-on-7 style tournament on the same field where the Cleveland Browns practice. Nearly 1,500 high school football players took part in the Cleveland Browns High School Player Development Program, where 12 of those athletes represented the Browns at the National 7-on-7 Tournament in Tampa Bay, Florida. Cleveland Central Catholic and Rhodes High School were proud recipients of field refurbishment grants from the Browns, which provided each school with safe and reliable football fields. Over 150,000 boys and girls ages 6 through 15 took part in the NFL punt, pass, and kick competition. 40 of those youth qualified for the Cleveland Browns team championship and were honored during the November 28th Browns vs. Panthers game. Throughout the course of the season, youth football teams were able to show off their skills in front of thousands of fans as part of the Cleveland Browns Future Stars program. 6 area high school football teams took part in the Cleveland Browns Heritage Hall Educational Tour in an effort to learn about the storied history and tradition of this great franchise.
Coming up, we'll be joined by the Division I and Division II state champion head coaches Rick Finati from St. Edward and Todd Filth from Maple Heights. We'll be right back.